Hello, this presentation is looking at NorbleSpot's new intraday platform called Intraday Web. It's a web-based platform, as you can probably tell from the name, meaning basically that it will work in any modern web browser, for example, Internet Explorer or Google Chrome. No downloads are needed. You simply type the address into your URL and the client will open automatically. So we're in the platform now. In this session, we'll concentrate on the four main windows of the platform. The top left-hand side here being the market information screen, where you'd expect orders to be placed and trades to take place. To the right of that, we've got the order depth. Below, we've got two panels. One is for the your orders, and also trade history, that's to the bottom left hand side, and to the right hand side of that we've got the ticker. So we start with the market information screen, and a little bit above that on the top left hand corner you can see the UK flag, just indicating that this is the UK market area that we're on at the moment. It's a European platform, meaning that any of our customers who sign up for any other market area, be it in Denmark, Germany, Norway, can have those in the drop down menu here. And again, if you're just for the UK market area as well, but you'd like 2 or 3 portfolios for the UK market area, you'd also find those in this drop down. So I'll click on this downwards facing arrow now to see that the options that I have, obviously being a test user, I've signed up for quite a few of our market areas. I'll quickly switch over to one of them just to see how that works. So I'll switch over to DK1 in Denmark, and see it's quite a swift transition then to the Danish market area with the hourly products. But for the purpose of this meeting, I'll switch back to the UK market area. So now we're back on the UK market area. We'll start on the left-hand side column with the products. So again, just to highlight, it is a European platform. So for the German market, we've got 15-minute products, and all products available for the UK market area as well, from half hours up to the 2-hour, 4-hour blocks, and then all other sort of larger block products for the UK market area. So currently on screen, I've got the half-hour products. If I highlight over this, I see the exact sort of the name of and time and date of this half hour, so half hour 31 here, and to the right of that I've also got the time that product covers. If I'd like to view more products on screen, then I go to the top right hand side, and you see there's a couple of product names up here, so I can use this downward facing arrow again, which is again another filter. So currently I've got half hours, block 3, 4, peaks and overnight selected. So if I'd like the 2 hours and 4 hour blocks selected as well, simply click on those, and you can see it's a very smooth, quick transition, and that's automatically updated on the screen. So the way these products are stacked at the moment, so we've got, for example, here half hour 31, which is then followed by half hour 32, 33 and 34. And then after those comes the 2 hour 5B, so they're sort of chronological at the moment. We've got down here sort of the 4 hour block followed by the corresponding 2 hour block, and then the half hours within those. So that is the way that it's set up right now. We are looking to quite quickly split this screen so you could have half hours and or block products split on the screen. But being web-based as well, all it requires is another tab on the top to filter those away. If you just like, for example, one tab with UK half-hour products and another tab with UK block products, that's also can be very easily accomplished by just a switch of a tab at the top. But for the purpose of this meeting, we'll leave it as it is for now, just not to overcomplicate things. And we'll look at how to trade and where those trades appear, etc. So to the right hand side of the product column, we've got the bid, and then if we jump over the order depth, we've got the ask. Those shouldn't need too much explaining, but one thing to point out is own products are highlighted with bold numerical values. as well as these corners here, these triangular corners, green for the bid side and red for the ask side. So within this bid and ask zone here, we've got one of the ways which we can view the order depth. So this is a graphical representation of the order depth today. It basically gives me a quick glance of what's in the market, if there's anything on the bid and the ask side, and how many orders is behind the stack there. So if I go down a bit here, I can see there's quite a few orders on this one. So all that it requires of me is to basically hover over. I don't need to do anything special. That will stay up there as long as I want it there. You can see there's quite a few of my orders actually in this stack at the moment. But the top of the market on the ask side is not my order there. So that very quickly just tells me or gives me an indicator as to the depth in the market, as well as providing the full order depth. What's worth noting is if I look at maybe the one above, which is half hour 37 on screen here, you see the gap between the bid and the ask size. That's actually horizontally is the price, so that's how far the prices are away from each other, and then vertically it shows approximately the volume depth. So here on the ask side, I can, just by looking at the screen, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orders, so I know approximately, without even hovering over, what's there. And then I can tell approximately how far off they are away from each other as well. So we see there's just a few pounds between the bid and the ask side at the top of the market. If I want to view the full order depth, I can click on this and I see it appear on the right hand side here. So I don't need to sort of hover over, move between products or anything too complicated like that. They will also appear in this order depth screen. And eventually as well, we're going to utilize this space more, so we'll have more stacked order depths, one where you can switch between products, another you can lock. Currently we're switching between products, so if I click up here, for example, the order depth will then follow and update accordingly. So that's the full order depth at a glance. So to the right hand side of the ask, we have the middle section, what I call sort of the trade history. So here we've got obviously the highs and the lows of the trades taking place during the course of the session. The last product information, so the last price and quantity of the product which was traded and when it was traded. And also DAM to the right of that stands for day ahead market. So there's no reference prices here at the moment, but in production, after the market prices have been published at 11:42 on a daily basis, this system will automatically be updated with a new benchmark prices covering the sort of the half hours and the periods which are covered here. And to the right of that, the volume weighted average price and turnover. So all things you expect in the market as sort of reference prices and sort of indicators of what's gone on through the course of the session will all be found in this middle section. Like I mentioned at the start, there are filters for pretty much everything. So there's a big wheel at the top right hand side of this market information screen, and if I click on that, I can see a drop down of all my columns that I've got up at the moment. So everything here can be filtered away apart from the bid and ask, because obviously the product's bid asks need to be there. But I may want to view this middle section here in a slightly different way. So for example then, if I take away this last price quantity time and use a graphical representation of that instead, all I need to do is add in what's called a trade history. So I can add that there and have the values next to it, that's perfectly fine. Or if I want to save a bit of screen space, then I can take away last trades, price and quantity, and also last time. We'll see that updates very quickly. One other thing here, I mentioned at the start, on the product side, we might want to save some space, and a lot of traders don't feel the need to have the times next to the product name. So I can save a bit more space by filtering the product delivery times away there as well. So those filters are now updated. Each time I log out of the platform, if this is how I want my setup and I log out and log back in, the platform will remember it. So that I don't need to spend another couple of minutes sort of updating things that way. Now I've added in the trade history like so with a graph. This graph just gives a very sort of quick graphical representation as to the trades that have taken place throughout the course of the day. So we see some light bars at the top here, and those are approximately the quantity for the products that have taken place, and obviously the prices as well. So we see there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades on this product if we count those light bars at the back, at 2 prices actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were done at the higher price, and then the price has come down, and there's been 3 trades later on in the session at the lower price. And we see to the right of that we've got the last trade as well. So we've got 6 megawatts at 84 GBP. So that's another way of viewing the trade history and the last traded product as well. So if I just go across to the right somewhat here, I can see the third sort of section, if you like, of the market information screen, and that's just a summation of what we've done during the course of the session. So this is my purchases, my sales, and my net position. Hopefully that's relatively straightforward as well. So my purchases is what I've done on the bid sides on the portfolio, and again my sales on the ask side of the portfolio, and then obviously the net position. Again, if I don't want that information there, then I can take that away, my position, and I can play around with the filters here and save screen space like so. Another way of looking at the order depth as well is to add more than one bid or ask columns on the market information screen. So what I can do here is I've got a preset level of 2, but I can set that to 3 as a maximum. Hit bid ask, and we see now that I've got bid 1 and bid 2 on the market here, and the same goes for ask and ask 2. So bid 1 will be the top of the market, and then bid 2 shows what's beneath that, what the second best order in the market in the depth. So we'll see bid 2 here, quantity 20 at 32. If I hover over here, we'll be able to see it in the depth on the bid side. So you can see the second one down is quantity 20 at £32. So I'll take that away like so as well, and maybe I'll add in back my position. It's just a preferred choice. But again, if I want to save more screen space and have more columns up on this market information screen, then I can actually remove the order depth column like so with this little panel bar here. So I'll hit that away, and that updates quite quickly there. Can add back the last trade price quantity information. So that column here in the middle has appeared. So these columns, although they can all be taken away, they do have somewhat fixed positions today. We will be able to, in the coming months, drag and drop those, so you can sort of choose your most preferred position for viewing, for example, this last information or the highs and lows, or these graphs here as well, the order depth and trade history representation. So maybe you'd want the order depth to the right hand side of the ask. So that is coming very shortly. For European participants trading across multiple market areas, the transmission capacities are also very interesting, especially when you're looking at hub to hub. So we have another on the far right hand side here. If you look at the mouse, I can open up another panel between next to the order depth. Obviously the UK market area, and being a test environment at the moment, there's not values on screen. but this is the transmission capacities hub to hub. So I can select the market areas which I want to see the direction of the flow, and I can filter those market areas that I want to see here. And as you can see, there's quite a few of the market areas currently available for UK. And this is also just one of the things that we need in place for future intraday market coupling. So that's already built into the platform, as you can see, and ready for the UK when that eventually goes live as well with intraday market coupling. Just add a bit more depth on screen so we can view the order depth here. So there are a few ways of entering orders onto the screen. One way is, obviously we've got some liquidity there. I can hit an order. I can just double click or select. So double click will open a panel directly. If I just click once, I get this option here. Okay, I can match on the ask side, or I could place my own order. So if I hit on place order, I've hit that on the bid side, so automatically come up with bid, but I can use these switches here if I want to place an order for sell, but I'll add something on the bid side as there's a lack of liquidity there at the moment. 4 main order types. Limit is good until expiry. Fill or kill. Immediate or cancel, which is also known in the UK as fill and kill. And then iceberg order. So what we'll do first, we'll enter a regular order and then we'll select an iceberg order after that. So quantity 20 at a price of £27, which is below the ask price there. Label is a note to self. I don't need to add anything there if I don't wish, and I can just place that on the market. So that's been placed there. You can see that that order has flashed up. It's 20 at £27, and it's also appeared in my order book here, which we'll go into in a bit more detail in just a second. So the next order I'll place will be an iceberg order. If I do it on the 2-hour block, place order, I can switch, but I'll stick to the sell sides. Select a button here for the iceberg, quantity of 100. Minimum clip size is currently 25. That is being reduced by request of the market to 10. And if we select a price of, let me see, maybe £90, and a price change or increment here of 1. Again, I needn't put anything here, but I might want to put iceberg test as a note and place that sell order. So that's been placed now. See, it's also appeared on the depth, order depth on the right hand side. What's different from the iceberg orders as well is that it's got an IBO in the quantity column. You can see both on the order depth and in the market information screen. Just to highlight to me that's an iceberg order. Obviously no one else in the market will see that IBO. And then it also appears down here in the screen. So I've got the iceberg order on the sell side, quantity of 25 currently shown, so that's the clip, and then obviously remaining quantity 100. So if the first clip was to be hit, then I'd see remaining quantity 75. So there's a bit of more action in the market at the moment with another trader within my same company hitting orders, and I've selected to view my own company orders, which is why 3 orders have appeared above this iceberg order here. So those are orders which I've not placed but have appeared on the market in, just over the last minute or so. To hit an order, again, very simple. I can click once, I'll get an option, or I may want to do something a bit quicker, hit something a bit quicker on the market, maybe something that's expiring. So I can see here, this is not my own order because it's not got those coloured parameters, but I may want to hit that quickly, so I can double click. It comes up pre-filled. Quantity 50 at 30, and I can just hit place sell. And if you keep an eye on the top right hand side above the order depth, you'll see a confirmation of that sell order as well. So there we go, you can see that that's been filled, and that's green up here. So then if we move down to the order book quickly and see what we have on the market, So this was our iceberg order. On the left hand side we have the order ID, the state of the order, whether it's open, deactivated, cancelled for example. The market area, the UK, if you have more than one market area you can see more than one markets on here. In fact, if I scroll down I may be able to see a few more market areas. You can see because of the portfolios that I've been assigned to, I can see the Finnish market in my order depth as well. I'll just scroll to the top of the market here. The full product name, whether it is buy or sell, we've got these colours just to help distinguish those. We've gone through the quantity, remaining quantity, price is obviously self-explanatory. The type of the order though, limit being good until expiry, iceberg order, whether it be fill or kill, fill and kill, all those order types are listed there. All or nothings are coming shortly. Label is the note, so I needn't sort of write a note there, but I did for the iceberg. It does say iceberg, but I put iceberg test just to highlight where that note appears. When the order took place, so if I hover over I get the exact timestamp, by who, so this was done by me, my user, and then the portfolio which was that was done on as well. So you can see there's a couple of different portfolios here because I've got another trader within the same company on a portfolio that I've got access to, who's also placed some orders on test_222. Currently I'm on test_007 now. To the right hand side of this I have some switches here, and this is just a way of pulling orders from the market rather quickly. So if I quickly hit these switches, so you'll see some flashing up potentially on the market information screen as well if they're on view, and that just deactivates them temporarily from the market. So these are currently off market at the moment. The iceberg order was at the top of the market, so if you look at the market information screen in just a second, I'll hit this switch now and it should flash up. There we go, it flashed up on the screen. So that's placed that order back on the market. I'm on an internal test user at the moment, so I can't see, I don't have a panic button to pull all orders from the market. In your production accounts as well as your test accounts, you'll have an additional button above these switches here, and that's basically a big red switch, so a panic button. So rather than pulling orders one by one, by hitting that red switch you can deactivate temporarily all orders from the market. And again there'll be a play button there above here just to reactivate all orders. And it works very much the way with these switches as well, apart from it does them all together rather than just one by one. So that's how to deactivate. Also within this order book here we can do a couple more things. So if I click on the order here I can edit an order. I can also deactivate an order without using the switch, but to be honest it's a lot simpler just to use the switch, or I can delete an order altogether. So if I go ahead and edit this order here, so I get the order information, the order ID, the product number, etc., and then I can edit either the quantity or the price. So I may want to amend or improve the price somewhat, or the quantity, but I'll go ahead with the price right now. I'll update this order, and then that's been confirmed, and obviously rather quick flash up, but that's flashed up on the screen as well. So that is how to edit an order. All these drop downs or downward pointing arrows here, like everything on the screen, it should be very straightforward, but they're all filters. So if you've got a lot of information going on in the order book here, you can filter between states, product type, the portfolio, who did it, who placed the order, and also when. So rather than just today's session, we can look a month back in time and guess a whole host or overview of the orders that we've placed. And like everything with this platform as well, it's very Excel friendly. So all that information can be exported by a CSV file to Excel by the use of this button here. And we also have the same button at the top on the market information screen. So next to the top right hand side corners with the drop down filters for the products and the columns, we have another upward pointing arrow, and that is an import, multi imports basically. So here if I click on that, we get to window up, which allows me to download an Excel template and then save that locally to my documents, and then rather easily browse, select that, and multi-order imports to the platform as well. So that's just a way, rather than sort of one-on-one hitting orders or selecting orders and in the market, I can multi-import orders that I've prepared in Excel as well, and then tweak those on the edit side within the order depth, also the order book at the bottom. So if we stay on the order book for now, and if I use this drop down here, I mentioned at the start that the order book also doubles as a trade history. So if I select my trades, then I get an overview of the trades now. So in addition, I've got the trade ID, the corresponding order ID. Again, a lot of the same information with respect to the market area, the product type, etc. But also, what's quite interesting is looking at the state. So this will show me whether that's been filled or part filled, for example. And again, you know, when it took place, when did that trade take place? If I hover over, I get the exact timestamp. And like everything else, again, I can filter. So I can filter market areas as well if I'm just interested in a couple of areas. I saw I had some finished trades on earlier. See if there's anything there, so now I can select those, for example. Or if I just want my UK products, if I do have multiple market areas, then I can deselect that and go back to my UK products. So that is the gist of the order book and the trade history. Again, trades as well, like everything, can be exported as a CSV file. So that can be done quite easily. So that leads us onto the right-hand side, bottom right-hand side here, which is the trade ticker. And again, this should be, for those familiar with the market, this should be quite straightforward, really, in that it gives an overview of all trades being placed in the market. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here. So currently this is a test user, and it's also very colourful. As you can see, there's a lot of green, there's a lot of red. Green just indicating the bid side, and red the ask side once more. But as you can see, all of these orders have got these sort of triangular parameters around them as well, which highlights that these were, in fact, all my trades, all my company trades. In an active live marketplace, what you'll see here is, yes, these product types, but they'll be white, just like in the market information screen, and then the odds trade, which is mine, I'll then have highlighted all across in green for this half hour 32, for example, and then the green sort of parameters around that as well, just to allow that to stick out that that's was in fact a trade which I participated in. Yeah, so here again, we've got these drop-down filters at the top. So ticker, currently we have a trade ticker going for all trades which took place in the market. Unfortunately, in this example, it's just trades which, well, the market has consisted of trades which I have populated the system with, being the test environment. But you can also select in a live production environment if you just want to see your own amidst a sort of sea of other orders or other trades as well. And again, if you want to narrow things down by product type, market area, when they took place, those can all be selected from these drop downs. What might be of interest to some of the European participants or UK participants trading across other European market areas, we've got Power Hour 01 down here. It's on the bid size, quantity 20, price at 50, and this is sort of a cross-border trade as well. As you can see, it was taking place between area of DK1 and SE1, and then we can hover over and we get the exact time that took place. Obviously, if you're just trading in the UK market area, it's UK to UK, so that's not of such importance or interest really, but I mean, eventually when intraday market coupling goes live in the UK, and also for those participants trading different market areas today, that's quite a useful feature. So that's, for the most part, everything that's on the platform. What I will just highlight, a point that I maybe forgot to mention before, obviously we've got an order at the top of the market here on the ask side, which in fact isn't our own order. But we see that we've got several of our own orders beneath that. So if I just click away for a minute, and it's actually this product, half hour 38, it was on the bid side, and rather than there being a solid sort of triangular parameter, I've got these sort of striped versions here, and that just shows me that the order at the top of the market, that's not mine, but I've got an order within that order depth, yeah, second or third in the market, so then I can sort of hover over and see whereabouts in the market I am, and that goes for if there's one order in that depth or several. So there I see just the stripes here just indicating that I have orders but not at the top of the market currently. So those are the main features needed for trading. We do have a news icon at the top here. That will provide obviously important sort of operational messages as well as info on our progress throughout the course of the session and you know, products which have been hit. I'll just mark those as read for now and take those away. This big question mark at the top here, well, it's obviously quite helpful in that it gives me the direct telephone number to the intraday operations team, and that's a 24/7 hour number. It sends me directly to the user guide, so if I click visit the user guide, that will take me directly to a PDF user guide, which you can save or download or just use as and when. Or also I can send a message, so if I click on send us a message, a box will appear. I can type in a message here, add an attachment, and then send that, or click next and it will send. So basically what happens then is it will send from your Outlook, we'll receive a confirmation at the operations desk, and you'll receive a ticket number and a confirmation that the message has been sent, and also a document of the message that was sent to us. So that will land straight in the intraday operations team's email, and then one of my colleagues will get in touch with you regarding that issue. Obviously, if it's more of a critical thing, then we do have the number up here as well. So that completes this session now. Thank you very much for your time, and should there be any more questions, then feel free to get in touch with us. All our information's on the Nordpool Spot website, nordpoolspots.com, and then if you select trading from that drop down, you'll see Nordpool Spot intraday, and that has information on of course the intraday market that we have, all our contact details, and then also all downloads for user guides and technical documentations, also in terms of API for those members using API to send orders to the market, as well as trade capture. All that can be found there. Thank you very much for your time. Bye.